People, deluded, I'm back again. Another day, another bunch of Arsenal related transfer news. I must admit, I wish we had a player signed officially now, but it could be the calm before the storm. We've been linked with, a couple of fullbacks. We've been linked with Alan Vieira, I can never say his name, but Alan Varela, apologies, of Porto. Calafiori seems to be the latest Arsenal player, which all the journalists are saying he's within touching distance of signing for the football club. So who knows? As I always say, 99.9% of these things are BS until people are holding scarves and shirts telling us they used to watch Ian Wright, Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, etc., growing up. Let's temper our expectations. But it does make for great talking points. And it is a good way of splitting the day up because I've been editing a lot of videos for you lot to come out within the next 2 weeks. This one's a bit more easier and a bit more light-hearted. But yeah, man, where my screen will be shared. One love. Riccardo Calafiori. Arsenal make Italy defender a summer transfer target amid João Hato interest. Mikel Arteta also remains interested in the 18-year-old Ajax defender. Would love him to sign for the club where the Ajax lad is concerned. But at the end of the day, he signed a new deal with Ajax. And I'm sure, he doesn't want to leave anytime soon. And as much as, we've got a young-ish squad, Mikel Arteta has shown he can develop players and especially young defenders. How many 17, 18-year-olds have captained Ajax, let alone playing week in, week out? I do think in this day and age, you have to move straight away or move football clubs. Stability is something and the move will happen. I've said it before. In an ideal world, we signed João Hato for me this summer, but they could also say, do you know what? Put the money down. You stay at Ajax for another year. Obviously, Saliba, life's coming at Saliba very quickly. He's playing for France at the moment now. Played 1, 2, 3, 4 games. The last 2 years, he's announced himself as one of the best defenders in the Premier League and getting one of the best defenders in the world shouts or hanging amongst them, but it didn't come, it weren't that easy, really. He had to go on a couple of loans. There was a period where he was kind of at Arsenal, but not playing. Then the Marseille loan developed him. So we do need to take our time, really. But keeping up with Calafiori, who did very well at Bologna, and obviously in what Italy played of the Euros, he's probably the player of the tournament from their perspective. Arsenal are interested in Italy defender Riccardo Calafiori, but face competition from Premier League rivals for the centre-back who impressed at Euro 2024. The Gunners want to sign a left-footed defender and have identified Calafiori as a summer transfer target as they bid to upgrade their backline for next season, who can also play fullback as well. Calafiori enjoyed a fine season for Bologna in Serie A and caught the eye of Italy with his displays at the Euros. The 22-year-old has been strongly linked with a move to Juventus and is also attracting interest from other English clubs. Been linked with Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal, obviously, Chelsea, if I haven't mentioned that, and Tottenham, actually. And apparently some Italian journalists say his heart is set on moving to Juventus. Check out the video I did yesterday because the Bologna director spoke on, how they ideally don't want to sell to Juventus. Are they using Premier League, who knows? Maybe they genuinely want to sell him abroad because it will make more money. Maybe Calafiori's first choice is Juventus or staying in Italy, or he's open to moving to the Premier League. Maybe Bologna are using the interest from other clubs to drive up the price. Essentially, who knows, man? It seems like a bit of gamesmanship, essentially. But yeah, he played in all the group stages. He was suspended for the defeat to Switzerland, people. Again, the Bologna director said, there is talk of Juventus, but also of many other teams. At this moment, we will try to keep him. If important requests were to arrive, we'll have to think about it. I'm not saying that we'll sell him because the president has said he wants to keep the whole team. You can't keep Zertsky, can you? But we'll certainly make some evaluations. I do not think he will go to Juventus, maybe to a different market, but I repeat that we will also like to try to keep him. Once again, Arsenal also are interested in João Hato, but apart from that, hasn't said anything or gone into any greater depths where that's concerned. Again, DiMarzio has said we're in pole position to sign said individual. We're getting closer and closer to a deal. PSG, Chelsea, Leverkusen have all been in touch. Arsenal presented a more intriguing project and offer for the player and Bologna. So we'll have to see. Until the man's holding a shirt, who knows? Romano has said Chelsea and Arsenal are really, really interested in Riccardo Calafiori. We're still not at the stage of negotiations or formal proposals, but what I'm hearing is Chelsea could tempt Bologna by including a player in negotiations. So that could be the spanner in the works, people. Arsenal are very interested in the player. This is something that they've already confirmed to all parties involved. Arsenal are there, Chelsea are there. Now it's important to see what's going to happen on the player side, what the player wants to do, which is true. I'm sure he's got to take some time to, reset himself mentally after playing for you in the Euros and obviously for club level. But there's been no negotiations or direct negotiations or formal proposals. There's been indirect conversations, probably putting the feelers out, seeing if he wants to sign for the club and letting our interest be known. But any move that's going to happen unless something is developed in very quickly. Doesn't appear that that's anytime soon, folks. Arsenal, especially in the last few hours, have entered the race for Ricardo Calafiori, with the Premier League his most likely destination at the moment. Bologna want 50 million euros for the player, considering 50% of his future sale will go to Basel. Next week will be decisive as far as Calafiori's future is concerned. Ooh, that's 50% of his sale of his sale. So that does make a bit of a spanner in the works, and great deal from Basel, essentially. Charles Watts has also said where Bologna are aware of Arsenal's interest in the player. We'll have to see. Now, no shade at Charles Watts or anyone, but half of these journalists, yeah, apart from Ornstein, in my opinion, half of these journalists all say the same thing. We're going for this player, we're going for that. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, they then kind of backtrack and say, oh, do you know what the interest was? And as stated, Arsenal had an interest, but they didn't make an offer. So again, we need to be very wary. And until people are holding shirts, who knows? Romano has said on Arsenal, I expect many movements. It depends on what kind of opportunities there'll be, but a left-footed defender is something that Arsenal want to bring in and will probably bring in this summer. This is one of the priorities. Something could happen in midfield and offensive positions, and then a new backup goalkeeper in case Ramsdale leaves. Arsenal have triggered the clause, of Raya on a permanent transfer for 27 million. The planning is already clear. Arsenal relax. So hopefully it is the calm before the storm. I won't keep reading these things, people, but apparently Jorginho has personally recommended Calafiori to Arteta. So hopefully, Arteta was asking his experienced midfielder to talk to him during the Italian campaign, people. So yeah, man, all the Rangers seems to be us with that. Keeping up the theme with goalies, if Ramsdale's plan is to leave Arsenal, the Athletic have said one man who features high on our contingent plan is Espanyol's Joan Garcia. The player is reported to have a 25 million euros release clause and is likely a target should the club need to recruit competition for Raya. I think we do. Keeping up the theme with Spain, people. Lokonga has agreed to move to Sevilla following the end of his loan at Luton, people. And he's preparing to leave English football after however many long years, people. Signed for 18 million. Didn't work out. Deserves, to go and have a fresh start. Wish you all the best at Sevilla. It remains unclear if they're going to have an obligation, an option, or an outright sale. But it seems like some sort of personal terms has been agreed, people, with that. In fact, apparently Sevilla, they want to acquire his services on an initial loan with the option to buy the midfield at the end of the season, while Arsenal want a loan deal with an obligation to buy instead. Mail Sport understands negotiations between the two clubs are now at an advanced stage and talks are ongoing over a suitable payment structure for Lokonga. It is yet to be decided whether the initial loan will be made permanent automatically at the end of next season, but the player is given the green light for the transfer. I hear that, and I would ideally want that. I'm sure you lot would as well, because he's got 2 years left on his deal, one official year with the option of another one, where if he does go on loan, surely Arsenal might just let him run down his deal, but surely we activate that last year. We've been linked with this mystery German, and some reports say Sane, Musiala. Who would have want Musiala? But apparently Team News and Tick said on leaks that Arsenal are signing a German international. I spoke to my main source who told me that there is truth to it, but no deal has been done and the club are trying to keep the name under wraps. Could it be Kimmich? I'm told not many know the identity of the player. Could it be Scholarbeck? And it's been made even more difficult by it being a player who wasn't on Arsenal's initial shortlist or even discussed in detail prior to the season's ending. So I guess we'll never know. And big up to him for monetizing it, to be fair with you. But yeah, you lot could go check that. There are top Premier League clubs interested in Chelsea left back Ben Chilwell. Some reports, I haven't got it to hand, say 3 clubs have bidded or made offers and they're near the topper end of the table. Now, Arsenal need a left back. He is English. I mean, he's wearing the captain's armband. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but could you make sense of that, people? Keeping up the theme with left backs, we already know this. He's got an injury, but nonetheless, Arsenal are ready to listen to offers for Kieran Tierney. He's struggled to, really pull up any trees. Argentine midfielder Alan Varela could leave Porto, people, and he's been linked with Leipzig, Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. Liverpool apparently pushing for him. Again, it's easy to name clubs and being interested. Some of you lot remember he was peeing off a lot of our fans when Porto played Arsenal. Turkish commentator Faith Doğan believes Arsenal should do all they can to sign Ferdi Kadagoglu this summer. Obviously, he's done very well. He did very well against Austria for Turkey. Done very well in general. Now, there's been some reports, as you can see here, that Arsenal scouts were in attendance to watch the game in Leipzig, as were Fulham, West Ham, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Borussia Dortmund have been aggressively linked with him as well, people. So it does fit the dynamic in that he's a fullback, a left-sided one, but who knows? Pedro Neto is a target for Spurs. Is keen to play in the Champions League if he is to leave Wolves. Sources say Arsenal, City, and Newcastle are also keen on the Portugal international. It's believed the Midlands club would not stand in his way if the valuation is met. Again, I think it's the calm before the storm in that regards. Arsenal have been linked with Conde. I'm pretty bored of even going into that. We've been trying to sign some top-level young players, as you can see, people. Apparently, Manchester City are advancing on the deal to sign England under-16 captain Harrison Miles after the expiry of his contract at Southampton. He's already played for their under-15. He's been targeted by Arsenal as well as other clubs. Quality player. You'd imagine by the time he's 17, he would have done his thing. And to be fair, Brighton have done well to hold on to a lot of their young talents. Southampton, it seems like they're getting poached, essentially. So we'll have to watch that one closely. Chelsea have presented Nico Williams a better financial offer than Arsenal. You would imagine that's the case, assuming he wants to sign that. Arsenal are reluctant to offer something as big as Chelsea. Chelsea are prepared to treble it. Some are saying he's waiting on Barcelona. And we all know he's got a 58 million euros release clause. I'm getting a bit bored speaking about Nico Williams. To humour you lot, this article said 10 players who could join Arsenal this summer. I mean, Calafiori, I guess it is quote-unquote realistic. Nico Williams, I guess it is quote-unquote realistic if we go beyond the points I've just said. Milos Kerkez, you could see why Arsenal and Man United are interested in him, a bit raw. You know, Arsenal and Bournemouth are going to be playing each other in America, so maybe we can have some negotiations. Not the most far-fetched of rumours. Arsenal have actually even been linked with Rabiot on a free transfer, by the way, people. Joan Garcia, we need a backup goalie. Joao Hato, I would love him, but I think that's one for next summer, if anything. Martin Zubamendi, it feels like that case has gone cold, but yeah, I don't know where you lot rank that. Kimmich, you never know, but probably not. Gyökeres, if we put the money down, why not? If not, it's a non-starter. Ivan Toney, I think that one day has gone dry. And Kadagoglu, I mean, provided there's other left-back targets that we don't get, you could be one. But it seems like Calafiori is the flavour of the month in that regards, people. What else have we got? We're willing to listen to offers for 15 million where Tierney's concerned. We've gone over the Calafiori stuff. Napoli will not go below their 100 million euros asking price for Osimhen, so we can forget about that. Big up Sol Campbell for joining us in 2001. What a side that was, man, taking me back to primary school. Mika Bereth is set for another loan spell. We've gone over Kimmich, people. He's interested, allegedly, says Romano, in a move to the Premier League. Xavi Simons has agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich. What a signing that is. Patino could leave Arsenal Football Club in the summer. Barcelona have joined the race for Onana with Everton. Apologies. What else have we got? We're set to announce the signing of Mr. O'Neill from Linfield. The 16-year-old people set to join our under-18 side, so big him up. What else have we got? We've gone over Conde, Osimhen, Gyökeres. Raya's deal's been described as done. We know we're not signing Isaac. Lokonga, we don't know what the official thing is going to be, but we're going to see that. Arsenal have stepped up their efforts to sign Jonathan David. Forget about that. He's dead, man. You know, come off that. He's dead. We're not gonna get to where we need to with that. But with that being said, as we know, silly season is upon us, people. Check out the rest of the other videos. Let me know your thoughts. I've got a video coming out, or it should have come out by the time that this has come out, where I've given my player of the season for Arsenal, my free placed players of the season, people. So have a butchers of that and let me know your thoughts. You don't know any rumors, talking points, etc. I'll get videos out for you. But for now, peace.